Hello all. Recently rereading Warren Buffett's book suddenly revealed its certain secret meaning, and you will understand why it is so important. And before that I will ask you to subscribe to my channel with a bell. It is extremely important because that is why you will not miss new extremely interesting videos. Well, I'm intrigued and now I'm going to tell you what you've been waiting for. The 21st century is considered digital for a reason, and now most people's money is essentially stored on a card in the bank or assets like stocks and cryptocurrencies. The second and third option is something that can improve your financial condition in the future, and Mr. Buffett has told you about it more than once. But you have to understand that the assets may have a long term, like stocks of companies, choosing from a huge list of those whose value will be below the market, or at least equal to it, in which case for 1 to 5 years to make 30% of your capital will be more than possible. And there is a cryptocurrency not considering only except Bitcoin, which is literally created just in packs and grows by hundreds and thousands of percent. As I understood from the book, you are the owner of your own money, and investing should clearly outline in your head the picture of what will be the most optimal multiplication for you and without increased risks. No investor will entrust his money to an overly dubious organization that promises a mountain of gold. In rare cases it is possible, but in practice the opposite usually happens. Buffett has said a number of times about XRP in his opinion, now it is digital gold, which is directly dependent on Bitcoin itself. But we all know that in the next 10 years Bitcoin will reach a level of market value that we couldn't even dream of. As long as XRP is worth less than $1, it's a real opportunity for capital appreciation. What do you think about this cryptocurrency? Post your thoughts in the comments and let's uncover this interesting feature together. Personally, my objective opinion is that the real value of XRP or Ripple in the next 10 years is more than $100. Why do you think that's so much? Many analysts, including Buffett, said it depends on many nuances, like inflation and dollar depreciation, as well as world changes. So does the confidence of more people of different masses in the future to change their minds about the trends of the investment field?
Inflation, Keynes said it many years ago that it's an invisible tax that only one man in a million really understands, and it's a tax on people that have had faith in their currency that the government's issued. It's interesting. In the United States, the value of the dollar since I was born has declined by 94% to 6 cents. So inflation.
Unlike where we were when the internet was in its infancy.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm Ryan Zagone with Ripple.
Right. And say your name so everybody can.
Ryan Zagone with Ripple. There's a recognition here that there's many benefits to the technology. But unlike almost every other sector, the regulatory framework must be in place for innovation to take root in financial services. And there is a broad recognition that that is needed. Now, we've faced the same issue about an uncertain technology and an uncertain time before. This isn't the first time we've had to ask this question. And it was with the creation of the internet. We recognized
customers, and so we're seeing more momentum than we've ever had around using XRP to move this liquidity around the world. And so we couldn't really be happier about how that has played out in a world where there's still a lot, I think, of FUD, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubt about what's going on in crypto. This is a real use case solving a real problem for real customers.
Okay, so which banks right now are actually using Ripple?
We have signed up about over 200 banks around the world. Some of those banks just use our software to do that debit and credit, fiat to fiat, and some of them are using XRP in those flows. We have banks like Santander that we've been working with for years and are moving lots of volume through the Ripple's technology. And then, as I mentioned earlier, payment providers like MoneyGram or RIA or Asimov that are using XRP actually to move that liquidity and really reducing their cost and improving the product.
Just in terms of the transactions, though, that you're seeing using Ripple, what proportion of those actually use XRP versus direct? And just where do you see that ratio going? I'm just trying to get a sense of sort of how much XRP itself is actually used as part of the Ripple platform.
So I would say the order of magnitude, the way to think about it, is similar to the proportion of customers. So if we've got, I don't know, a couple hundred customers we have launched, 10 to 15 of them we've talked about using XRP. I would use that ratio as the total ratio between what's happening with Ripple's technology overall.
XRP, like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, has been volatile. I asked Brad if the message to investors is don't use XRP to speculate.
People are going to speculate on different asset classes. People speculate on gold, currencies. I mean, you name it, people are going to speculate. When we think about this, and what I've said very publicly is I think the long-term value of any digital asset is going to be derived from the utility it delivers. There is a lot of hype in the crypto market space. We've seen that even recently. A lot of attention around what's going on with Libra and Facebook's announcement around Libra. Today, that's just a white paper.
So how can we take payments global? So we've talked a little bit about SEPA today. Fedor has some APIs to tap into that. So wouldn't it be cool if you had euros in any bank account, say like Deutsche or Credit Suisse, and you could actually send those euros to another account within SEPA, which is pretty fast clearing, but have that money converted into dollars, yen, or whatever other currency is actively trading on the Ripple network? That would be pretty freaking cool. So how are we going to do this? Well, Fedor's got some pretty cool APIs. Ripple also has some APIs, so maybe we can put them together to create this experience. That would be awesome. Yeah. So Patrick already alluded to this, but I'll just reiterate, even though we're API-rits, we need to respect the rules of the high seas of finance, including things like KYC and AML. You might have heard of them. Those can be expensive costs for developers to maintain, so I'm happy to see that Fedor is providing those solutions for the innovators in this space. So let's talk about the links in the chain a little bit to actually make a cross-currency transaction happen. Before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about what a Ripple gateway is. So Fedor is actually acting as a Ripple gateway after their integration. And what that means is that they are holding customer deposits in euros, and if a customer wants to transfer that money through Ripple, they can represent that euro balance on Ripple and send it through. So you can think of a gateway as kind of like a pseudo bank, right? They take in a deposit and they issue you a balance. So we have actors on the Ripple network today that aren't even actually traditional banks that are doing this type of thing. SnapSwap was referenced, and that's going to be a partner of Fedor for settling in US dollars. So gateways sync external payments with corresponding Ripple transactions. Ripple Labs has created a software framework called Gateway D that it can be integrated with external payment systems. So you can write custom code that connects to Gateway D so that those payments are mirrored in real time onto Ripple. So the features of this middleware, things like deposits and withdrawals, you can issue currency, you can do robust payments that are sent through to Ripple, and you can monitor for incoming payments so that you can take corresponding action on the outbound path as well as the inbound path. So yeah, that's a Ripple gateway. So let's talk about links to the transaction chain, right? So if we wanted to take euros and turn them into US dollars with Ripple in the middle, you could use Fedor APIs to initiate a SEPA transaction. You could then have a gateway D set up to monitor for that transaction. Once it actually confirms the receipt of those euros, it can mirror a corresponding payment onto Ripple and send it through into a different currency. So that's the last piece of the chain. All good?
Bring in Alex Holmes. He is the chair and CEO of MoneyGram. Alex, look, welcome to the program. We really like to have people on the show who are not taking advantage of this, but I would say a new kind of company that benefits from this new economy. Are your transactions up a lot at MoneyGram?
Yes, sir, they are. As a matter of fact, it's been quite a transition for this company over the last couple of years. We have seen a tremendous surge in digital transactions over the last 2 years, and really an incredible surge over the last quarter since the pandemic really set in. 106% growth last quarter in digital transactions, and about 27% of our total company transactions. So definitely have seen a tremendous increase as consumers, look for coronavirus safe ways to send and receive money.
I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy. I like to write checks. Are my days as a check writer numbered? My standing joke on that is I think you can continue to write checks, but the people in line behind you probably aren't going to appreciate it very much. But I think they probably are, and I think Corona is definitely another step towards that digitization. I think contactless payments, online digital payments, mobile type devices will continue to see an increase in utilization as we go forward all over the world, not just here in the U.S. How long before we see the end of cash, notes and coins?
Yeah, that question's been out there for forever. I will tell you, cash still is the predominant form of payments anywhere in the world. It is, by far the most ubiquitous and liquid for anybody in a market anywhere in the world. That being said, I think the growth in digital has been absolutely tremendous. The World Bank, which is probably the foremost expert in terms of remittances and cross-border payments, says that this market will be 50% digital by 2022, and that was before the virus. So I certainly think that there will continue to be pressure on cash, but I think it will be around for quite a long time.
MoneyGram, well positioned
Chair and CEO Alex Holmes joins us. Thanks very much, Alex. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.